What's up, Renegade Nation? Before we begin the video, I want to give a shout out to our most recent Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Connor Stearman, The Wizard of Oof, Josh Combs, Railfan Noel, Revenant Gaming, Grand Admiral Yamato, TAG Pika, Charday Rider, Damn Is It, Derek Kincaid, Tex Snow, Graffiti Turtle, Dylan Prosper, Latanya Young, Chris O, Tim Dorst, Gino, Fithalo, Fireboy9191, Kevin, by the way, I'm a girl, Noah Simsar, Acoleyte, Ted, Brody Scott, Dark Buddha, Ali Mocha, Matt McMillan, Alan Barty, Scott Winfrey, Michael Abeta, Anene, Alex Estrada, Eric Aldama, Lucky, and Caleb Harrington. And I would also like to give a big shout out to our executive producers, Joshua Fix, The Gimpster 101, and Bevan Brummett. Thank you all very much for your support. And if you wish to become a YouTube member, click the join button, which is right down by the subscribe button. And if you want to join us on Patreon, feel free to click the link down below to find out more. We'll see you there.
Hey guys, guess who the imposter?
Wait, what? Really?
Wait, I don't like pasta.
Got him!
God, son of a...
Hell yeah, bro. We on this.
Game stores. Oh boy. Chad, did you have an experience earlier today?
It's a roll of the dice, man.
It is.
It's a roll. Is it going to be, you know, doomsday edgelords just like in there fucking wallowing in self-hate that treat you like shit because you show interest in a hobby store?
Yeah, it's like they're just like, all right, what do you want?
In comes the peasant.
Yeah.
Who dare you call upon Lord Neckbeard as I sit here in my self-hate and filth?
Yeah, you either get like the non-conformists who are just like, dude, I fucking hate this job so much. I only signed up here because I thought I'd be able to get like free cards and shit like that. But I got to deal with people instead on a daily basis.
Yeah. I think somebody was on like a video call eating Chinese food, and I went in there and I was just like, he literally told me to go to another store. I was just trying to like grab some magic cards. I was going to throw together a modern deck, and the guy was just like, I mean, like, we kind of have some, but like if you want to get magic cards, and just like go to the other store. Where I went and stood at the counter for 10 minutes while they talked about a game somebody had at Friday Night Magic, and then after 10 minutes of just standing there, I decided to leave.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm all for, like, you know, building rapport with customers, you know, conversing with them, you know, be like, yeah, dude, last week you were looking for this card, I looked online, we found it here, you know, like, collaborating like that to, like, build stuff like that. But instead, when you are literally just standing there talking to someone, when a fresh customer comes in the door who has money in their pocket and willing to spend it, I mean, you're losing out on business. And look, it like, effectively after like a minute or so of you standing there, I would have just been like, hey, look, man, like, if you like, we can continue this convo here in just a bit. Let me help this customer out, you know, we'll get right back to it.
At least be like, hey, man, are you looking for something?
Yeah.
Oh, not? Okay, well, then I'm going to, let me help you. I'll be right with you in just a second.
Bingo.
Whatever, but, like, literally lacked the ability to run a fucking store, it seemed like. But we've been spoiled because we hadn't really had to deal with, like, GameStop growing up, or, like, any of these comic shops with just complete idiot douchebags running the place. We had, you know, Brian Marcus had Cavalier Comics.
Yep.
And then a game store, what became a franchise, and then became like a couple of stores again. It downsized after it grew, and then, you know, the economy
get to a certain
changed.
point, you know, it goes back down.
G2K Games and Cavalier Comics were both in our hometown, and it was like a step above hometown, but still with that hometown feel, because I mean, Brian made his store seem bigger than it was.
Yeah.
And
I remember, like, he was in that dinky little, like, wannabe shopping center for years and years and years.
And thrived.
Yes. Made a killing, dude. People would walk up to that store all the time. People would walk from, like, their jobs, like, just down the road a little bit. Just walk right up there.
Yeah.
And he would always just be like very nice, very cordial,
helpful.
Like always would encourage you. Like if you had showed interest in something, he would nurture that interest and help you out.
Yeah.
That is exactly what you want from a nerd game store employee. Yeah. You want that kind of stuff.
Not to feel like you're a burden.
No.
Existing there.
Well,
like I know that there are some super annoying people who go to game stores and are just wasting time hanging out.
I get that, yeah.
But that's not everybody that comes through the door.
No.
And if it is, you've got a problem.
Well, no, and even if they are there to just waste time, walk around, window shop and all that, even if they are, dude, that's a body in the shop that may, eventually get interested enough to buy something. Mm-hmm. That's at least better than, no customers at all who refuse to come in because, the customer service the first time they came in was absolute dog shit. First impressions count for a lot, dude. Yeah. I mean, my first impressions with, some of the game stores in this area, where we're at now, oh my gosh.
Terrible.
Walking in there, it was like I immediately was, suffering from the plague, and everyone avoided me. It's just what the fuck? Well, why isn't any of the employees coming up and I'm here at this one thing? It's hey, are you interested in Magic the Gathering? Or hey, are you interested in Settlers of Catan? Or hey, are you interested in Pokemon? Why not?
They got video games too. These are shops that carry all of that kind of thing.
It's
games,
hey,
card games, board games.
Hey, you into retro games? Hey, what are you looking for? You looking for original PlayStation, PlayStation 2? You looking for Game Boy, Color? Yeah, they have a great selection. Some of these stores we go to have great selections that I guarantee you, if they worked with you and tried to find something to suit what you were looking for, they would it'd be gold.
But instead, you get what you get.
Yeah, you get these tired ass people who think like this is pretty much a GameStop and they can pretty much get by with just like skating along and doing nothing. Mm-hmm. And we actually have a former employee who worked at GameStop who mm-hmm. is employed on the channel, Nick, by the way.
Yeah.
And he actually had some drama unfold where a guy who is literally one of those kinds of people I talked about did everything he could to get him fired, and did. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was higher up on the food chain, because he started working there, I think it was like 2 weeks before Nick did. Like, that's supposed to give him some level of seniority. If you ask me, it should always be about, you know, hey, are you a caring employee? Hey, does this employee here, do you like working with him? Do you like, you know, chatting with him about games and stuff? That's what it should be about. Instead of just like, oh, this guy's been here 2 weeks longer than you, therefore, you know, he's got bigger sway.
I don't know how that works at the game stores here, but man, I guess it's just where they're few and far between. There's only a couple options.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, there are good ones and there are bad ones. There are far more bad ones than there are good ones, unfortunately.
This is the unfortunate truth.
Yeah.
But Scott the Waz has a video here about game stores. This was requested on our Discord, so we're going to give this a watch and we're going to see what happens. So here we go. Scott, take it away.
Hey y'all, Scott here. Oh!
Hi, Scott.
To buy video games right now, I have to leave my room.
Oh,
now, I could always buy video games online on Amazon or just straight digitally, but come on. I need video games now.
Having physical copies or
shipping and handling, and I love plastic shelves. Who wants to do this? So that means driving 10 minutes to a brick and mortar store to buy physical games equals fine, I'll go to GameStop. The video game store used to be a magical place as a kid. It was always something I looked forward to. I didn't even have to walk out with a new game or anything. Just browsing the games available and being surrounded by them was a treat. And when you did buy a new game, oh man, you pop that bad boy open on the road home to get a taste of what's in store. What does the disc look like? Reading through the manual, waft the wonderful smell of a freshly opened game. Sometimes that experience was more memorable than the actual game you bought. Before a trip to GameStop, I would rummage through the games I had and said, okay, I don't need this, this, or this. Bring them all there, get some sweet trading credit, and pick up some new games.
Not much.
Of course, now I hate this fucking punk for selling his Game Boy Player for a copy of Just Dance 3, but back then, without a job, trading in game...
Self-reflection, ladies and gentlemen. You can never go wrong. Although...
What the Skaz was.
Yeah, he was, but now he's just like...
What if wonderful was he was.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say this. I took advantage of this a couple times because, number one, okay, there was one game I wish I wouldn't have, but there was one game I did turn in for Resident Evil 4 whenever it was coming out on GameCube. I was just like, okay, I need to see what games are worth what. And I looked right at the top, Twisted Metal Black. And I'm like, holy shit, I've got that game. How much is it worth? $35? Dude! Okay. But Resident Evil 4, and I'm like, but I don't want to get rid of Twisted Metal Black because it's my favorite Twisted Metal game. Fuck it. And then I got Twisted Metal Black, turned it in, and then spent the rest of my money on Resident Evil 4. One of the best decisions I've ever made because Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite games. But then there's the whole thing. It's just seller's remorse where you're just
Twisted Metal Black's not that expensive, is it?
No, not anymore. But back then, dude, everyone wanted it.
I was constantly, dude. That's how I got Persona 2. I traded a fuck ton of shitty games that were worth $3-4 all the way up till I got to $250. I mean, it was a epic fuck ton. It was 4 boxes of games just to get that one.
Yeah, I've turned in I remember the biggest regret I ever had was selling all my PlayStation 2 stuff. I still have where I sold it on eBay back in 2009. I still have on eBay the listing. I sold my PlayStation 2, 4 controllers, the remote with the little dongle that went in the PlayStation, a stand plus 12 games. Sold it all for $275. Not a bad piece of change back then.
Fair.
But now, and I'm just God, I had so many memories with. Also, it had 3 memory cards, including a 32 gigabit memory card that held everything. Had all of my previous stuff on it.
Now that memory card would be the thing that you would have wanted. I mean, you can buy everything else back,
but those memory cards, dude.
Yeah.
I still think about it, and I'm just why?
That's why I've still got that Lugia on my Pokewalker from 2010. And I'm just it lives.
I still got some of my old GameCube memory cards up there on up on the pedestal.
Yeah.
God, dude. I wish I wouldn't have sold the memory cards at least and kept those. But I decided, hey, it's a package deal. I'm trying to buy a Wii. So that's how it was.
There you go.
But anyway, back to this.
Games was just the way of life. Game stores were the place back then for me, but now what the hell happened here? I really wish video game stores could be more of a place to just kind of hang out and browse games, maybe even play them, but instead, whenever I go, I'm bombarded by my favorite question in all of retail. What brings you in today? I always follow that up with a just looking around, browse the games until I realize the pop figures take up more space than the Wii U section, and then leave empty-handed. Well, maybe I can learn to love video game stores again by working at one. My interview is, right now.
Hi, Chet Shaft, Game on Shelf Manager.
Hi, Scott Wozniak, Games on a Shelf employee to be.
So, what makes you want to work at Games on a Shelf?
Well, I love plastic, and discs are great too.
You know, we're really looking for somebody who's into all different types of games. Are you that kind of guy?
I don't give a piss. Didn't do much for me. But it really didn't excite me. The title never interested me. Didn't look all too entertaining. I wasn't interested. It doesn't appeal to my taste. Doesn't really appeal to me. Not super into mobile games. Way that makes me not care at all. I'm not an RPG guy, and I'm not a Xenoblade guy. I'm not really into it all. I like the Wii.
Perfect, you're hired.
Personally, in terms of going to actual stores for video games, I prefer Best Buy. It's nice and big, you walk in there and browse the games without getting harassed by employees about joining a membership or pre-ordering games or whatever. At the very most, one will ask if you need help with anything.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
Still there, and I guarantee you, they're willing to sell that thing for $20.
Yeah.
Because of just how bad the launch of that game was. It's oh, the Ultimate Edition comes with the Infinity Stones. What the fuck? These are Easter eggs. Yeah, literally, they instead of jagged or personalized Infinity Stones, stuff like that, instead you open the box, it's oh, hey, look, glowing Easter eggs. Thanks! Oh.
Wow.
If you need help with anything, or just say hi, and that's about it. However, they did have a sweet membership. Gamers Club Unlocked gave you 20% off all new games. Not new as in
Damn.
recently released, new as in basically any game on the shelf. It was only $30 for 2 years. That right there basically made Best Buy the only place I'd consider picking up games at. They don't offer the program anymore because holy shit, how could they sustain a deal like that? To be fair, the 20% off games got me to buy a lot of non-video game stuff there, but I mean, 20% is still a lot off of products Best Buy already doesn't see a ton of profit from. Even without the membership, I just like Best Buy because I can pick up the game, bring it to the counter, bada bing, bada boom, I'm out of there. Places like Walmart and Target, oh god, those have got to be the bottom of the barrel in terms of my preferred game stores. Who the hell wants to wrangle up an employee and beg them to unchain Detective Pikachu for you? All the games are behind this glass door and you have to get an employee to unlock it for you, and it feels like whenever I actually want something, there's never anyone around to unlock it. You just kind of have to pace around until you see somebody. But of course, why go to those places when you can go to, GameStop is the definitive place to buy games for many people. It's simple. It's a game store. You go there to buy video games. I notice it's really popular with families. A mom will usually bring their kid there to pick out a game or to ask questions about something. But wow, GameStop can be annoying. I'm not trying to boycott them or say anybody who works there is a chump. No. It's good to have a store specific to video games. And I know for a fact most employees are perfectly fine people just trying to do a good job. And they're forced by their bosses to do all this annoying stuff. Such as trying to cram a membership down your throat. They really like to push the Power Up Rewards program. It's just a standard membership. It's really not the craziest in the world. You get slight discounts on used games, some little benefits here and there, but that's about it. It comes with a subscription to Game Informer magazine, and they always ask if I want the digital or print version of Game Informer, and I'm like, I don't want Game Informer, I want the 70 cents off Darksiders 2!
You gotta be ruthless out there. You can't dance around and getting a membership card. Remember, you're not out there to make a friend. You're out there to make a sale. No manners, no subtlety.
Like what we were just talking about, right?
Well, I would have enjoyed even being harassed at the last place I went to.
Oh, yeah.
Recognizing my existence and the fact that I stood at the register for literally 10 minutes.
10.
That's
everyone.
a long time. I felt uncomfortable standing there that long. And nobody even... They saw me come in. I came in the door and they looked. And then I stood there at the register and I saw people, like... It wasn't like they couldn't see me right there.
Yeah,
I was just like, what the fuck, man?
All of a sudden, it's like,
can I get a pack? Do I need to jump the goddamn counter, slap it down, and say, take my fucking money, please? I need my cardboard cracked now.
And all of a sudden, he was like, sir, I will be with you in a minute. So anyway, yeah, like I was saying on Discord.
These three, Mana.
Yeah, so anyway, like I was saying, I was on Discord last night really laying down the law.
I don't know, dude.
Like, honestly, dude. Like he was talking about at Walmart. Did I ever tell you the time where I found my Wii at Walmart? What happened when I found it? Oh my god, dude. I was at Walmart. It was like 9 o'clock. No one was there. It was dead. And I'm like, I was in there. I was in there like getting something from the medical aisle. I think it was like peroxide or something like that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm just like, fuck it, I'll go check out electronics real quick. Because, you go there to kill time sometimes. I go back there, I'm walking through electronics, everything's fine. I'm looking, like, this is the time right after the Switch came out. Gone. Not in stock anywhere and all that. I'm walking back there, all of a sudden, I look in the case, I'm like, oh, hey, they've got a display thing. Is that a Switch? That's a Switch. That's an actual Switch. Shit! Employee, I need to find an employee. And then all of a sudden I run and I find one at the front, and I'm like, okay, dude, I need you to open up the Nintendo Switch case. I'd like to buy a Switch. And he's like, I'm sorry, sir, but we're sold out of Switches. And I'm just like, no, there's one in here. I swear, I promise you, there's one in here. He's like, all right, fine. He like gets his key, gets up, and he's like expecting me to go on like a wild goose chase. He gets over there. He's like, all right, see, sir, I took. Wait, okay, you want that? He's like, I'm like, yeah, I want that one. He's like, dang it, man, if I knew they had one, man, I'd have got this myself. And I'm like, I know, man, that's why I want it. Give it to me. And I went in there, I got my Switch, I checked out, and I just strutted out with my bag that had the peroxide in it, and my Switch. I'm just like, Happy as can be.
Hell yeah.
But just the stress of me like running around looking for an employee, all it would have taken was someone else coming up to that glass and just standing there, and then them saying they wanted it, and they would have gotten it before me.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I went and found the employee, and it's just like, ah!
Yeah.
Like, that kind of stuff, like, frustrates me to no end, but...
Craziness.
Yeah.
Join our membership, kid! At least you get fun prizes for all the
Accurate.
points you accumulate on the membership, which you can claim on this website. Oh my god, this place is barren. Anybody else remember going on the Power Up Rewards site and seeing all the different prizes you could redeem? It was always stuff like a Call of Duty beanie or whatever, but now it's just gift cards.
I saved up enough points to where I was trying to get the Assassin's Creed Hidden Blade. They had like one that like you pushed your hand up like this, it pressed a little trigger, and the hidden blade would come out and all that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I want to save up my points for that. I finally got up enough points for it. Gone. Not on the shop anymore. And I'm like, no!
eBay, my friend.
I know. It's just, that
It's whatever.
sucked.
When I used the site more often, the only rewards I picked were the gift cards, even when they had other trinkets available, so I don't really care. Now, one thing GameStop has over all other major retailers who sell games are the used games and trade-ins. Others have tried, I can't even finish that, they all failed. Like, Walmart sells used video games. What? GameStop is universally known for selling used games at a cheaper price than new. Sometimes. GameStop's used game selection is always a mixed bag for me. First off, I'm not super big into the fact most of the DS games get their cases thrown away. I get it, the cases take up valuable space, but I don't know about anybody else, but if a game comes in a plastic DVD-like case, I need the case for it, I ain't buying it loose. This bugs me about a lot of used game stores in general, GameStop included of course, but it feels like they never put any effort into cleaning games. Many of the cases for GameStop's used games are just gross. How did it get this way? So they didn't have a standard PS4 case for this game, but for some reason they had the original game cover art, and on top of that, the battle scars this thing has taken is just too much to stomach. Most of the time, if they don't have the original box and cover art, GameStop just prints their own and uses a generic case. I mean, it's better than nothing. At least the GameStop cover art for Mario Tennis Ultra Smash is better than the actual game. Is there legitimately anybody out there who will buy the game with the GameStop cover when a copy with the original cover is available?
Not really.
Curious. It's
No.
obvious GameStop likes to push you.
I know that you've found like ways to print like photocopy versions of like the.
If there's certain games that, there's certain games that you have to piece together to get a lot of times, like Persona 1, Persona 2, I had to buy the manual separate from the case, separate from the disc, like, and just assemble it.
They
all
sell
together.
it in parts and
because
all
it's
that,
more
yeah.
valuable. You make more money doing that because it's such a rare game. But then there's stuff like, SMT3 Nocturne, where I got the disc for a really good deal, and it's hard for me to find the actual case without the disc, and I just don't feel like doing it. So I printed an alternate art style cover for it and put it in another game's PS2 case that I had. Sometimes I'll just get cases when I see them at thrift stores and stuff, and so that I can put my good games in them I don't have a case for, and print out artwork for it and put it in there, because it's just expensive to find the actual cases. A lot of times you have to end up buying the game too, and it's just like, fuck.
It's like not worth it at that point. I remember you and we actually looked at like, oh, here's the case art for Silent Hill 2, and then I tried to print it out on the photo paper, and we were out of colored ink. So I was like,
oh, that's
and now I've got colored ink, and I'm just like, I need to do that now. I need to get that printed out, because I've got the case up there and everything. I've got the game case. It's got the manual in it.
I have so many games that if I don't print cover art or something, I'll forget I have it. It'll just be in the heap, and I'll just be like, what is this? Oh fuck, I forgot I had that game.
Yeah, and me, I've like got my shelves up there that's got like all my classic games on it and everything. Like I've got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and Pro Skater 1 on PlayStation 1, and I'm just like, holy crap, I'm so happy I got these. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like you and me were trying to like coax Maverick into giving me his copy of Symphony of the Night for like $40.
Yeah.
And he was just like, how come you want it for $40, man? And I'm just like, it's because it's a good game, man. I really want to play. And he's like, let me look some stuff up first. Like,
shit.
Dang it.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, no sense in trying to get it from him now, but well. Anyway.
Used games. With new games, they don't make much of a profit off of them. Used games, non-stop profit. They buy a game off of you for like $20 and sell it for $55. It's genius. The trading credit has always been a big problem for many. Like, here's how much a used copy of Spider-Man costs, and here's how much you get for trading it in. I mean, that bites, especially if you don't have a ton of money to spend on games. A lot of people definitely complain about trading credit, but I will say a lot of people complain for all the wrong reasons. I think too many people assume that they should get a ton of money for their garbage game nobody cares about anymore. Think about it for a second. Why are you trading in that game? It's because you don't want it anymore. Well, millions of other people didn't want Gears of War 3 anymore either. That's why it's only worth $1 and you get 25 cents for trading it in.
Sorry,
Hey
Marcus.
man, listen, corporate
Sorry,
makes us
buddy.
do this over here, but this is just a little manager evaluation form. You just fill it out, let them know how I'm doing, you know.
Alright. Is your manager manipulative?
I'd say no to that if I were you. Hey, looks like we got some trade-ins coming in. Knock 'em dead.
Alright, total trading value is gonna be $10.50.
Well, I got this Skylanders for the Wii U. How much is it now?
$10.48. Of course, you could just sell the game on eBay, but that requires a lot more work, and there's no guarantee it'll sell. GameStop will accept your game right then and there and give you at least some money for it. Not a lot, but since it's way less work for you than an eBay sale, I think it's fair to expect not a ton of money from trade-ins. It is convenient to have a well-known store that'll buy your used games, but this is still kind of ridiculous. Oh, you know another thing I hate about used games? These stickers are the worst. You may be able to peel them off perfectly one time, but just you wait until you get a stubborn one, and it is brutal. GameStop used to spank the stickers on the box art itself, not the plastic case. Major problem with that can ruin the art. At least on the box, if the sticker doesn't peel off correctly, you can just slap some Goo Gone on it or use a different case, but this isn't nearly as easy to get off of the art. And for some reason, GameStop likes to sell new games that aren't new. Like I bought Shenmue 1 and 2 for the PS4, and I bought a new copy. The problem was it was the last copy on the shelf, so they put a disc in the shelf copy, and there we go. I bought a new game that was open and unsealed. I didn't pay the used price, I still had to pay the new price. That's fun. They usually run deals like 4 for $20 on specific used games. And those specific used games are generally all-time classics like Disney Infinity 2.0 Game Only, MLB The Show 14, and Flea Smash. But my main problem with GameStop always boils down to the fact that they won't stop trying to sell me something. Hey, do you have anything you want to pre-order? They ask me as I'm trying to buy Chicken Shoot on the Wii. Hey, the usual, right? One copy of We Play Motion to go.
Thanks, Chief. We gotta start pushing pre-orders more. Studies show that 9 out of 10 gamers play video games. We gotta capitalize on that market. Next customer you get, do not stop talking about pre-orders.
Fucking pre-orders, am I right? It's like totally like you buy one S. It's just like most of the time if I tell them I'm not interested in pre-orders, they'll list off a bunch of upcoming games and be like, interested now? And I'm like, I'm sorry man, I just want Chicken Shoot, just ring it up. I'll just casually browse games and a GameStop employee comes up and asks me for my membership info just to remind me of the points I have and to pre-order things. Listen, I love to talk to anybody who works at GameStop, as long as they don't make it so obvious they're just trying to sell me something. I've had a few perfectly decent conversations with some GameStop employees, and they've been delightful. They don't necessarily nudge me to buy anything I don't want, get any protection plan, pre-order anything, become a pro member, nothing. Just talking about games we like and ending things off with a solid take it easy. But 80% of the time at GameStop, all of this gets shoved in my face. And to reiterate, this mainly isn't pissing all over the employees themselves, because I know the heads of GameStop force them to act like this. The exact same heads that have turned GameStop into... What is this place?
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like GameStop anymore. The random merchandise takes up more space than the actual games now. It feels like I'm living inside of a loot crate. Nerf guns, plushes. Many of them aren't even themed to gaming franchises, just standard geeky movie or comic book stuff. Now, I have no doubt this stuff is popular, but in terms of at GameStop itself, I've never seen anybody buy these knickknacks here. In fact, a lot of the time I see this kind of stuff in their clearance bins. At least it's better than when GameStop tried to shift their focus to smartphones. Yeah, that worked out for them. Now, of course, I may be saying this because of that virgin blood within me, but I think it would be smart for GameStop to start focusing a lot more on retro games. Now, they
I've
carry
been
them
saying
on.
this forever about game stores.
Yes.
I really
honestly,
think that that's what made G2K take the biggest hit.
because their lack of focus on retro. When they killed the retro sections, that's when they closed pretty much all their other stores except for their main one.
Yep. Well, when they stopped really giving fair trade value for retro stuff,
Yeah.
they shut down everything.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Line at select locations, but come on, retro gaming is really big now, especially the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox generation. The kids who grew up with those consoles are at an age where they want to play them again, and instead of capitalizing on that, they're just going to keep selling Naruto shirts. I hate the fact that retro games are mainly only available online. These are games you probably want to inspect before buying, but instead just buy them online. You'll find out if they come with the case and manual when you get them. I don't hate GameStop, but it's just not my preferred place to shop. It has annoying quirks, and as time goes on, the store just seems like it's becoming more and more not for me. I'd really recommend supporting independent mom-and-pop game stores. A lot of these places rock. They may give you better trading credits. They'll definitely have a bigger variety of systems and games spanning across so many more generations, and they probably won't be as in your face about junk you don't want. Better start supporting them soon, though, because many of them keep on shutting down, and that's never fun.
No.
Well, it's over. New store opened down the street. Some really steep competition. We just can't keep up with it.
I mean, I've had 5 people ask if we sell cigarettes. Maybe we should start taking trade-ins.
You think you know how to run a business? I know a guy with an NASA shirt, okay? I earned this job! This is my peak.
Well, after everything I've been through, I'm done. I'm not going to game stores anymore. I'll say it's because I'm protesting them, but it's really because I'm unemployed.
Fair enough.
Wow.
So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You know, he's right.
He
Game
is.
stores are dying. And I would say that, unfortunately, a large majority of that is due to them not catering to retro games enough and caring too much about, oh my God, it's pre-orders and everything's digital. You can't digitize carts, CDs, and the fun and nostalgia of shit that is already printed, and there's only a limited amount of them out there. There's a bunch of them that have been destroyed. Like, there will never be this again. What there is all that there is, and there is value in it.
I still have these. I love these. I grew up with them. These right here.
Yeah.
Jesus God.
You know, and there's gonna be more people show up when they're excited about getting their hands on that stuff and know that it's appreciated there over, oh my God, this new release just came out. Guess what's coming out next month? That is the way of digital big companies and publishers like Steam and other places where they're selling games online, and like the PlayStation market, Xbox market, like all that stuff. That's where that's going to be, not at your store.
Yeah. Nobody's going to initiate a pre-order for a digital game at your store when it is readily available on these platforms, and you can literally pre-order them and install them the same. Like, you can install them like the day before and be ready at midnight.
Nobody's like going to line up at the store for the game release anymore.
No.
Because they don't have to.
No, they don't. New releases and stuff like that. No.
In fact, for Persona 5 Strikers, I had to wait 3 days to get my physical copy past when it released digitally. It took me 3 extra days to get the Steelbox edition from Best Buy.
And you want to know the interesting thing about that Steelbox? I remember when you showed it to me. It's like, oh, dang, man, that's cool. And then it's just like, wait, is this an entirely separate box from the actual box?
The actual game was in its own box, the actual regular game box, and then they just gave me an empty steel case. I was just like, all right.
What a waste of resources. It's just like, well, I remember when I got Halo 2 and Halo 3 special editions, I was just like, holy crap, dude. Like, the actual steelbook of, like, Halo 2, it's got, like, all this artwork and stuff like that, like, really cool stuff. And then Halo 3, it's like, all right, this is awesome right here. It's like, these were all, like proprietary things that came with that version of the game. Yeah. And then, all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, here's this version of Persona Strikers. Like, oh, wow, awesome.
Just an empty box.
Yeah.
And a download code for the music. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
No CD or like flash drive or anything.
Right? Like, fuck, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. You want to know the most blatant one for me? Metal Gear Solid 5. There's actually a it's like, oh, you want a physical version of it? Okay. Here's a disc version of it. And the only thing that's on the disc is literally a link to the Steam page where you can download it. That's the only thing that's on the disc. That and the code to enter on Steam to get the game. Ain't that something?
Am I a joke to you?
I guess. Keep in mind, this is Konami right after the fallout with Kojima, and they literally were just like done.
That's why I like collecting PS1 stuff, N64 stuff. I like retro collecting. I like PS2.
I do too.
You know, that up to the 360 and the PS3 is where I'm gonna keep it, I believe.
For now, yeah. Because in the future, you know, you'll probably encapsulate those in as well. Once it gets to that point.
Well, I do want the Steelbox version of Persona 5 Royal.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get that one too, but I'm just gonna be retro collecting, I believe. The newer stuff, and then they put out newer carts and stuff, like new games that are on special edition limited run carts and stuff like that. And it's just more a seller's market than it is an actual collector's market.
Yeah.
They make shit seem collectible to sell it to collectors, who then in turn try to pretend like it has no nostalgic value, has nothing other than it's a market for collectors, you know, who want that specific thing that's made specifically for them, not something that has existed in pop culture and is just being collected that way. It's a niche inside of a niche that's just seems really money hungry and weird.
Yeah, it seems super fucking weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
The video game world is strange when you get into the collecting aspect of it.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Or anything, really.
Yeah. God. So, all right. This is an interesting video by Scott the Waz, about game stores. Yeah, he raised a lot of good points, made a lot of really good, brought up some interesting stuff. But hopefully you all came away with this with a pretty good idea of how we feel about game stores and all that. And I guess if you want to see more from Scott the Waz, you can click his name in the title of the video, take you directly to his channel. And if you want to see more from us, feel free to click that link down below in the description. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to leave a like on the video. And I guess until next time, I'm Nate.
I'm Chad.
We'll see you then, everyone. Peace out.